Introducing NEPTUNE, a 2x1 fit for a quad with open core, 2 multi-TC roof bunkers, a wide gap shooting floor and 4 disconnectable externals. 2 of the gatehouses have beds and boxes in for a quick respawn during an online. Each one has turrets in the roof to keep out grubs. This base has a huge shooting floor with plenty of peaks to defend from. The other 2 gatehouses look like this, 2 turrets in the roof and windows looking in and out of the compound. As you can see, the upkeep is spread between 5 tool cupboards, so you don't have to worry about refilling the TC so much. From this angle, you can see the drop down peaks in the shooting floor, leaving more gaps to shoot from. Going up one of 2 defendable chutes take you all the way up to the open core, inner peaks and roof, with windows halfway up, so you can defend the shell. In the shell, you'll find 4 breach peaks overlooking the compound, with boxes in the ceiling of each one, and turrets placed around the core. As you can see from my last few designs, I really like these, as you can defend your base even from early game. Entering the core, we have a jump up to the next floor and an airlock into the starter. In here, there's space for 8 large boxes, 4 small, a workbench, bags and furnaces, with enough space in the main TC for several days. On the next floor up, we have 2 unusable loot rooms, a locker and 2 beds. Jumping up the chute brings us into the open core. On this floor, we have plenty of box storage for a 4-man, with space for vending machines and a workbench in the middle. All this loot is guarded by the 4 turrets above. On both sides of the base, there's a 4-box loot room with a respawn point next to it and a ramp peak. These peaks offer so much visibility that each one is able to cover about half the shell. Before running upstairs, place a triangle roof here to open the bunker. Up the chute, we have a peak looking back into the open core in case you need to win back control. Access the bunker from here. You can put boxes, batteries or whatever you want in these. Each side of the base has 3 windows peeking down to the open core with loot boxes on top. Very quickly, I'll show you the other side. Access the wide gap shooting floor through one of 2 entrances. As you can see, there are some excellent angles to defend from, overlooking the entire compound and surrounding area, with respawn points for each team member. On 2 sides, there are also drop down peaks to give you even more angles on the raiders. Jumping up through the single doors lets you survey the roof and take down anyone who steps foot on it. To get onto the roof, run back to one of the entrances and climb up the defendable chute. A standard design here, with a roof peak up, turret and a vending machine built into one modular piece. On the roof, there are 4 ramp peaks looking down into the compound, 4 turret locations, and a space in the middle for a heli garage if you need it. Here, you can see the build cost and upkeep for the base. While some 4-man groups will be moaning that it's too expensive, if you want all these features in a base, there's a price that comes with that. Besides, I'm pretty sure most of my subs are solos who build their bases on a 10x, but whatever. You do you, as they say. As always, upkeep, raid costs and sanctuary codes are in the description. Build your own China wall if you want one, and the bunkers don't work on console. Yet. First, we're going to build the starter. If you prefer, you can build it from a normal 2x1, but building it this way allows for more loot space. the TC in this corner, you can upgrade it to armoured when you have the materials. Leave this part of the ceiling wood so we can expand the base. Build half walls here for a loop room next to the TC. I recommend building the ramps later, as early game you'll need more loot space. The ramps prevent anyone from entering the base if they blow the back wall. Destroy the wood triangle with a couple of machetes and expand to the second floor. Again, leave this part wood so you can destroy it later. Remember to place your boxes and lock them before sealing them in. Also remember to lock your lockers. Using a horizontal embrasure means that you can still use it, but anyone else won't get the loot if they shoot it out. You can add a wooden roof exit like this for now, if you like, but don't make it stone, because you'll have to destroy it later. After you've gathered a fair amount of resources, now it's time to expand. Build this pattern of foundations on both sides of the base. Now it's time to build the multi-TC foundations. Build up from here on both sides of the base, with 7 squares, followed by a triangle. Remove all the squares, except for the triangle. Then build back towards the base, with a pattern of 3 half moons. And then build this shape, upgrading it to metal. Destroy all the twig. From the hexagon, build up by 2 triangles and 2 squares. Then build the gatehouse. Both of these foundations should be metal. From the gatehouse foundation, build a series of 4 triangles, a square, and another 2 triangles. The last 2 will form the external TC. Remember to place 2 half walls here, so you can disconnect the TC. After that, remove the twig build-up and connect the external TC to the gatehouse with a series of frames, like so. If your main TC gets raided, if you want to replace it, you'll need to disconnect all these externals. To disconnect them, simply place a foundation and a roof. To reconnect, just rebuild the frames. The gatehouse, seal it with windows and doors. Put half walls on top, but remember to leave a gap for the turret. When the gatehouse is finished, build back towards the base with a series of triangles to form the one gap shooting floor. The window frame should also be metal, as it holds up the connection between the gatehouse and the shell. Before making the connection, place these two wall frames and these walls on the shell. Build a twig half wall, then place a triangle floor tile and a triangle frame next to it. Connect the gatehouse to the shell with a series of triangle frames and square frames. When the entrances are completely finished, the connection will still be 8 rockets even though the walls are stone. Follow these steps again on the other side of the base. Now expand the chutes. Pretty standard stuff here, so I'm going to show it for a bit. When you've built both chutes, expand the footprint to build the breach peaks. Repeat this 4 more times on the other sides of the base. Now seal these sides of the base. You can put a battery down here and a turret on top if you prefer. Now put wall frames in these slots. To cover the gap, make sure these ones are metal and rotate the wall frame to activate the conditional model. Now listen carefully, as this part is essential for the ramp peak down. On top of the wall frame, place 2 half walls. Connect a floor in the middle of the 2 half walls. Then go upstairs to seal in the roof. Make sure the whole roof is sealed and then build the ramp peak downs. Place the frame first, then a ramp inside it. Put ramp behind it and go back downstairs and remove the twig. If you built it correctly, the ramp should stay there. Before sealing the compound, you're going to build the other 2 externals. To do this, build a pattern of foundations like so. Remove all the build-up apart from the last square. Then build back towards the base with 5 triangles, a square, and 2 more triangles. Remove these foundations and upgrade these 3. Build frames on them to connect them together. Next, build the foundations for the gatehouse and the external TC. The externals are exactly the same as the other ones. On this side, make sure the hard side is facing in case anyone door camps you. Put a row of half walls on top and leave a gap either side for the turrets. You can place boxes on the triangle by using a ladder. Repeat this step on the other side of the base. Seal the compound, put barricades on each gatehouse, and then build a row of walls all around the 3rd floor. Give a gap on each side so we can build the peak that looks into the shooting floor. Then finish the chute and build a loot room next to it. Do the same on the other side. Then build the bedroom. Place the locker on the ramp first, then the bed. Now to build the loot rooms. First, upgrade all these floors to armoured. close a gap, rotate this wall. Upgrade all the parts of the loot rooms to HQM when you can afford it. Then do the same on the other side. You could put a battery or a locker in here. As you can see, I put a window here as a peek back into the open core, but unfortunately it makes for a cheap raid path, so I recommend putting a normal wall there instead. To seal the open core roof, place windows in these locations. And full walls on these sides. And a frame and a wall in the middle. Use some twig scaffolding so you can place the ceilings at half height. Use triangle frames in the corners so you can place turrets on them. Obviously, you have to use a ladder. At this point, you can either finish the 4th floor, or you can expand the wide gap shooting floor, which I recommend. Place 2 more foundations on this part, and extend with frames. Do this again on the other side. On these wide gaps, place a square and 2 triangles, followed by another square. Upgrade the last triangle and square, and remove the others. Now extend the frames up by 2 floors on these foundations. Then build more frames and floors on the front and the back wide gap. For these sides, place 2 windows in the middle and frames on either side. Then jump down and build the breach peak. When all the frames are in place, attach floors to them. Then put windows all around the shooting floor. After that, build the roof peak cups. They're the same on both sides. Now to expand the chutes. Put a half wall and a window here for the roof peak up. Do the same for the other side, then surround this floor with walls. The bunkers will go here. Pay close attention to this part. If you don't, the bunkers might not work. Make sure the walls on either side of you have the hard side facing in. Don't worry about the gap, we can cover it later. The ceiling must attach to the inner wall on your right. Place another wall here to seal the bunker. To cover this gap, upgrade the window to HQM. To seal the other gap in the wall, run out to the shooting floor, build an armoured frame. Making sure it's rotated correctly so the gap is covered. Before we can seal the roof, we need to open the bunker. So run downstairs and place a triangle roof here. Now we can attach this triangle to the armoured ceiling. After that, finish the rest of the roof and build the bedroom. In the shooting floor, place wall frames in these locations. You can put doors in some of them if you like. Next, build the triangle roofs on this part of the wide gap and the ceiling. Do the same for the other side. Now on the roof, seal in the open core. Remember, you can put boxes here if you like. To cover these gaps in the ceiling of the bunker, place a frame here, and then a floor tile inside it. After that, seal in the rest of the roof and complete the chutes. Now the base is finally secure, we can build the roof defences. Build the ramp peak downs here. Do this on 4 sides of the base. I highly recommend putting shotgun traps here to prevent anyone from hiding behind the chute. Then put 2 roofs here facing in to protect the turret. On these sides, put triangle roofs facing outwards. And finally, build the wind turbine towers. Obviously you'll need ladders to do this. You can even remove the triangles that the wind turbines sit on. Instead, they will just hover on the wall frame. And the base is complete. If you made it this far, well done. Remember to leave a comment, like and subscribe. See you in the next one. Cheers.